Say welcome to day 7. And say welcome to day 7.
Where's the 7? Why me on I?
Because it's flipped.
Okay.
Alright. So today we are working on, we didn't crochet at all yesterday because the kids had a wrestling meet and that took so long. We were at the school for like 4 hours.
Right here.
Are you pretending to hug me? And so there was no crocheting at all yesterday, but I am back on the grind today, crocheting today. We're gonna do the shoe covers today. So what I'm thinking is, because the shoes are so oversized, I may lightly stuff these. I don't know, so I'm just gonna kind of make like a big red cone, change it to white, then kind of do like a, they're not gonna quite be slippers because the bottom's gonna be empty, but they're gonna have like that very slippery, like a slipper look where they're kind of stuffed and bulky, that he's gonna be able to put over his shoes. So I have his shoe here so I can kind of measure out, what I'm doing. So I just got this done. I haven't done much. We just kind of sat down and started. So I'll see you in a little bit once I get through the design process, or unless I get stuck somewhere. Good news. All right, I'll show you. I didn't get far on the shoe cover. Anyway, got me my yarn. So let's check it out. I bought more of the blue because I know I need more of the blue, but okay. And then I got a bunch of other yarns that I have been dying to try. Alright, so let me find. Here's more of the blue and the tan that I was talking about. And this I feel like is a much better color than this one. I'm happy with this. So, and the blue yarn. Alright, so I got more of the Premier Marl, but I got this color instead. Look at that, so pretty. I got 4 skeins, and then I got this color spun. Oh my god, this yarn is beautiful. Look at these colors. It's gorgeous. Okay, now I'm gonna have to go back and get more. And then I just got some Premier Berry Basics tweed in, what is this? Where's the color number? Aaron tweed. Figure I'd make a Oogie Boogie themed witch hat or bonnet. I haven't decided yet. So I'm just obsessed. Look at how beautiful this yarn is. It's like to die for. Totally obsessed. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna continue working on the shoe cover. So it's gonna go a little bit higher. Look right there, because I do have to make a white brim. So right now I'm gonna change to white and then figure out how to do this part. And then I think I'm lightly gonna stuff it. And it's all it is, it's a cone. And I'm folding it flat. I may lightly stuff it. Or not, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. And then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna slit stitch with white as evenly as I can, going up and down. And then I'm gonna come back and do the crochet. Well, we're jumping ahead of time. And then I'm probably gonna put elastics at the bottom so that they stay with his shoes. Most costumes do that anyway, so yes. Oh, I was just fair that this is all the white. I mean, I have white yarn, so that's not an issue, but yeah, no, I do have more white. So yeah, I'll check in a little bit and see where we go with this. Also, what are you currently watching right now? I just watched Trick or Treat this morning, and now I'm watching Beetlejuice. So yeah, what shows or movies are you currently watching? Alright, I want to go through this part because I've never done this before, but I'm going to show you right here. So I made my cone. So here it is. So on this round, I'm actually going to join the two together. So I did 5, 10, 15 to 45 and then maintained 45. So obviously I was going to be uneven. So on my last white one, I did an increase, so I have 46. So when I go to join them together, I have an even amount of stitches to join together. But before I go to join, I want to stuff it and also make the slit stitches so I can come in and add the, what is it called? So I can go ahead and add the sole, right, the white part. Right, so I'm gonna come back and work on these slit stitches so I can add a sole. So obviously I want to keep it as straight as I can, so I'm folding it the opposite direction. Okay, that was straight a second ago. And I'm just surface slit stitching on each round. And this is hard because like I'm having a hard time grabbing both strands, but so I'm inserting on the stitch that's next to it and then trying to grab both strands and then pulling my slit stitch. Trying to go as straight as I can. It's a shoe, so I'm not too worried about it. It's at the bottom, not everybody's gonna be able to see it as much, but like internally I know that detail work is there, so. And then yeah, so I wanted to do this because when you're surface slit stitching, you want to be able to work from the inside of your work to pull the strands. So yeah, and then I'll lightly stuff it and then start working on the back part. Okay, so make sure that's centered. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna mark. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23. Ah. And 24. Just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. There we go. Yeah. So this is my other end. These two are going to be crocheted together. So when I come down, I'm making sure that I'm actually going to end up on the opposite side. So let's do that now. Okay. Like, I'm glad that I'm recording this and then taking notes, because I'm gonna have to do the same with Santi's shoe. So I like went around the top here. I'm just gonna leave this yarn here just so I don't have to reattach it later. So there we go. So then I'll come back and do the sole later. So yeah, I slit stitched it over here, like right in between the two stitches that I'm gonna join. And I'm leaving it live, so the smart thing to do would be to actually mark it so I don't actually pull on it and lose my stitch. And like I said, super lightly stuff it. Just a little bit so it has a little bit more puff. Okay. I'm happy with that. So now I'm gonna chain one. And I'm going to slit stitch the back loop. And I mean, technically it's the back loop, so, but if you're looking at it, the front loop, not slit stitch, half double crochet them together. I'm connecting the inner loops together. There you go. So I'm just gonna finish doing that all the way across. Alright, I don't actually know where I left off on Friday. I just kind of continued working and I forgot to record. But we have the shoe going. I am going to get elastic and sew it on here. So it kind of stays in place. And now I'm going to go do the sock. But I think I did talk about this part where it was just a cone. And I did that all the way up here, and then I held it flat and half double crocheted them together. And the reason that I made a cone was because I wanted to stuff it so it puffs up, because obviously the shoe doesn't puff up as much. He has kind of puffy shoes. And then before I closed it off, I did surface slit stitch the white so I could come back and just very cleanly do the sole. So I did the surface slit stitch, and then I went back and forth like this to do the back part of the shoe, and then with the white I slit stitched over that so then I could come back and do the sole. And then I just ended up adding 2 rows here on here, and I'm gonna do now I'm gonna do the sock part. And I'm just gonna probably go up a hook size. I use a 6.5 millimeter for most of this, so I'm going to use probably an 8 millimeter and like double crochet probably to just kind of make a tall yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do, like a tall tube that I can cinch down, kind of like socks. I should have done that with the gloves. I think it would have been better, but it is what it is. So I'm just gonna make my life a little bit easier with the sock on the shoe. So let me work on that and then I'll get back to you. I'm probably gonna work on the outer loops. So if I want to kind of attach it to his pants like I did with the glove, I can do that, just so there's like less pieces for him to mess with. I haven't decided that far ahead yet. So yeah, that's where we're at. So yeah, and then I have to make a whole other one. So there's probably not going to be much to this vlog. It is Sunday. It's 2. Our day was just super packed yesterday. I got nothing done. So I really need to finish this costume so I can get started on the other ones. But yeah, and I've been fighting like a head cold. I have like a sinus and my throat's not too bad, but you can kind of hear my voice is not fully there. But I am very stuffy for sure, and then it's like a sinus. It hurts.
Where's my costume?
You took it. Where did you hide it?
No, Huggy Wuggy did it.
Huggy Wuggy took it?
Yeah.
Where'd he take it to?
In my room.
Oh, to your room?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll see you guys in a second. So I know I spoke about this part. So when it was open, I surface slit stitched this, and then I half double crocheted across, closing in both sides, right? So at the very end here, since I did multiples of 5, I ended up with 45, but I needed even numbers up top so I can close it. So on my last round of white, I did an increase randomly so I could have 46, and then I slit stitched with red all the way around, did my surface crochet so I could have my white tail on the outside here. I think I talked about this part. I'm too lazy to go look at, because technically this is, I believe now, day 8 of costumes, because I didn't really work at all Saturday, so I don't know where I left off Sunday.
All I know is that I did finish the shoe. Well, I did the sock part today. So all I'm doing now is going 6, which if you're making this and you end up with you may have a different shoe size, so your stitches may be all weird. He has pointed feet, so I just made it to where I kept increasing until I could comfortably go from side to side. So the shoe is significantly bigger, and it's supposed to be because his shoes are huge. So yeah, actually all the way up here. I made it to where they're right over the sole of like the shoe part, because I'm gonna come back and do the white in a minute. But now I'm doing 6 all the way around, which is about the length up here on the side. Depending on how big you want, you probably want to go over that amount. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to, at this point, just go back and forth on the 6. This is gonna be a longer vlog, because what I am building now is the back part of the shoe, right? So I'm going all the way around until I can comfortably meet it over here. Now the goal of this is when I slit stitch to this side, that my end ends up at the top. So I think I did have to do like an extra round, which ended up working out just fine. An extra row, because I wanted the yarn to end up here so I can do the top part of the shoe. I'm trying to cut my yarn the least amount of times possible, just because I really hate weaving in ends. So when I'm working with my yarn specifically, I make sure that they end at a certain spot. As you can see, as to why I left my white yarn attached here, because then I can just continue working with the white yarn when I get back to it. So yeah, so I'm just gonna continue working, and then I'll get back and show you how I slit stitched it, so we can get to continue working. Oh, I'm currently watching The Sinner Season 3 on Netflix. I don't remember what Season 2 was about, but I really liked Season 1. Was really cool. What are you watching? Other than this vlog. Where is... Alright, so I did my ridges, and alright, not my ridges, sorry, I did my rounds. Oh my goodness, it is not even that late. 10:34. Anyway, so now I'm gonna join it to this side. So I know this is I'm gonna have it this way. So this is where they meet, right? So in order for my seam to be inside, I'm actually gonna attach them this way. Yeah, like this. And I'm simply going to just single crochet not single crochet, slip stitch the 6 stitches together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now you can see it's joined. So now I'm simply gonna work in the stitches over here and in here, and I'm gonna do 2 rounds of working across the top here. So remember, if you've never done edging before, because these are half double crochet rows, for every 2 rows of half double crochet you want to do 3 stitches. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that and I'll show you the progress in a little bit. Okay, so I did my 2 rounds here at the top, and now I'm gonna work on finishing my sole. So I just picked up the white where I left it off, and I'm just very nicely slit stitching through the bottom. And the reason that I'm slit stitching is just because it's gonna give it kind of like a cleaner look than if I were to just start my edging right away. It's simply because I'm using a different color. If I would have just used the red to do the edging, I would have not done a slit stitch round, but the slit stitch round is just allowing me to just give it a much thinner look when I come back through, or when I come back around. So yeah, and then after this I'm simply going to get to the end over here, chain 1, and just do a half double crochet round all the way around, and then I will be finished with this part, and I'll start on the sock part, and I'll show you how I did that. Alright, so I grabbed my white and I slit stitched all the way across the top. And the reason that I slit stitch is because now I have the red front loop and back loop. They're right there. I'm gonna use them if I choose to attach these to the legs, so he doesn't have that many pieces to put on. I'm gonna use these stitches to attach them to, just so they have like a better grip. I don't know what my thought process here is, but what I'm gonna do now, I did grab a bigger hook. I used a 6.5 to do the shoe, and now I'm going up to an 8mm because I want it to be looser. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to double crochet on the front loops only. So I'm gonna do that. Let me do a couple so I can show you. It's kind of like what I did with the gloves. Actually, kind of exactly what I did with the gloves. So I'm working on the front loops only, so I still have these back loops still there. So I'm gonna do 1 round of DC in the front loops. Then I'm gonna do just a regular DC round, and then when I do my, trying to see how many did I do. 1, I think I only did 2. Anyway, when I do like the loop round, this one right here, I'm going to do this last round through the DC stitches and the leftover BLOs. So I'll eventually come back to those just so I can anchor those down. So right now I'm gonna do my double crochet in front loops, FLOs, and then just my regular DC around, and then I'll come back and show you guys the ridge. I mean, is it in a ridge? Fold? The fold. I'll come show you guys the folding step in a second. Okay, so I did my FLO round and my HDC round, so now I'm gonna do my joining folding round. So I'm gonna start it out as if I was doing a regular double crochet, but I'm actually also gonna go through those BLOs that I left. Am I picky about which one? Absolutely not, because we're fudging it, remember? Then people are like, we want patterns, and I was like, I fudged my way through it. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, so I'm going through the regular stitches of our current round and the BLOs from our slit stitch round, the leftover BLOs, and doing in a half double crochet. I mean a double crochet. So my current round and the BLO, and do my double crochet. And yeah, I'm gonna do that all the way around. And by the way, I'm gonna lose that yarn chicken, so I'm gonna have to open a new skein of yarn so I can finish but I'm gonna finish this off, and I'm probably gonna go to bed. And this is the end of day 7 and 8, or is it 8 or 9, or I don't know. It's just the end of whatever day this is. I'll know once I'm making my thumbnail and stuff. But here are the shoes. That's what it took me 2 days to do these. Tomorrow, fingers crossed, is the last day of me working on Bash's costume. But that's probably not gonna be it. It's probably gonna be the next 2 days. So for probably, fingers crossed, the next vlog is the last day that we're spending on this costume, and then we can move on to Sophia's costume because I am running out of time. We're getting there. It's the 16th. I literally have 2 weeks to finish this. That's it. I have 2 costumes to go. Pray for me. Send all the positive energy that I get this done. Anyway, till next day. Hopefully I won't sound as nasally next time you see me.